I am. All right. I'm gonna hide these for a moment. I'm gonna increase this a little bit. And all right. So what is market telling you guys here? I'm just gonna hide as much as I can.
Ugh, top of the penthouse.
Okay. What else do you see?
A bounce for the few days.
Okay. We tried all-time highs, right, from before.
Yep.
So we had the previous somewhere around here, correct? I think it was a little bit higher. See. It was 62.5 or something. I thought it was 63-ish. Okay. 62.25. That was our previous high that we had stuck here, right? We had that sold off again, and now we're knocking on the doors, which is basically our last FMOC. This was our mini penthouse, which is what we were referring to. And now they're inside here, right? But when you zoom out, is there more to it than this? Like, hey, you're here, you're seeking acceptance now. You grab the liquidity from this, right, nicely today. What do you want to see if you're a bull then tomorrow? And the market was in a 2-day balance in a really, really shitty range that we were in for some time. And today, right, I don't know if you guys were, whoever was on, what did I say about the initial balance when we were trading today and to go with that direction when it breaks? Did I say that or?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So the initial balance, if I remember, was 7 points, 7.25, right? Whenever you see a 7.25 points initial balance, what is that indicating? The tighter the balance,
big move.
short term, and how's the facilitation of the auction? Is it great, good, bad, really shitty?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad, right? It's pretty shitty, right? If you're facilitating here, it's not a lot of great auction, right? They tried a couple of times and they had an opportunity. We are targeting 29 and a, well, I think it was 29 and a half that we were targeting. Does everybody know why 29 and a half was very important today? And then I said, if it's over 32, forget it. Most likely new high of the day is incoming because the bears were pretty poor, pretty weak. Did we cover that live?
Yeah, was that stacked 3-day POC or something? I can't remember. I'm not at my computer.
So it was something like this, right? And at that time it was a little bit higher and we can change it, right? So we can go, don't extend it, right? And do something like this. And here was the balance that we were looking for. Me, it was showing maybe 29 and a half, but let's say 30. So we went below that and I said, if you lose and reclaim this, and then specifically there was a 32 level that we were watching. If you reclaimed, I said, there's probably a new high of the day coming. Is that correct? And they executed that perfectly, right? They broke that, they made new high of the day. They cracked it here and then they struggled a little bit. And then you had another 2 o'clock, FMOC candle. They popped, they accumulated, and then they sold off. I was short 2 times here. Still short, actually, overnight short from these levels. But does it make sense why the 29? Why were we playing the auction on a break to go higher? I got filled, I think it was like 36 and a half. Somewhere here. I think it was here on IBH. When they broke that, right, it was go time. But why can you have confidence that it's go time?
It was such a narrow IB.
Narrow IB, but what about your risk? I mean, think about it. If you're playing one ES, can I afford, let's say, the whole range of today? Can I afford that as a stop loss? If I took 36 and a half, can I afford this? Hold on 1 second, guys. Well, guys walked into my office. They're back. Hold on. Hey, go back. Adeline, get him, please. Sorry. 2-year-old decided to just walk in.
He's ready to learn.
What's wrong with that?
Sorry, guys. We just jumped in. So when we looked at this, right, I mean, we were looking long above the certain level because of the delta, and then we said new high of the day. So would this trade would have been bad here on a 7-point day? If you even just targeted this is great. But, you know, new high of the day and then most likely new all-time highs is, you know, you could have trailed this. Could you probably would have been stopped? Yeah, but you know, I think this was their magnet all along, and I mentioned that at one point last week. If they clear a certain level, they're going to go much higher. Does that make sense for everyone?
Yeah, but I have a
Yep.
question here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
How do you figure out that they were targeting all-time high? Because I almost was a bloodbath for my entry. I got stopped out a couple of times.
So, what is there left to grab liquidity from? Just think about it. Where they want to grab the liquidity? They already grabbed this one here, right? The only one remaining to actually sweep this was here is next, and then you have a little bit higher, right? I would say, what is this? December 25th. You have the
That's
all-time high here. So the next, you know, just magnet that we have is up here. You know, you go to the value area high or a previous high where you trap. All right, look what they did immediately. I mean, just go in 10 minutes. What did they do? They went here, and how's the auction looking? Is it speed? Is it fast here? Let me just hide this for a second. Look at this
Okay.
fast auction going up. What is this? It's
Yeah,
like,
it
hey,
was
we're
very
slowing
bad.
down, slowing down, tighter. And then look at this candle. This is the candle that caused all the probably the stop loss hits. Right here, peaked above, sold, massive sell off here, got them again, and they sold off. So somebody's interested in selling. They got the liquidity, now they're looking lower, and that was the next natural, you know, just structure wise. That was, you know, they call it internal liquidity, right? You would have in this case external. These are just internal. Excuse me, grabs of liquidity now. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
There was not much in the
it
area.
does.
And then if you look here, you know, if you just grab from here to here, look now, if this is our range, and then, you know, the value of this was somewhere around here, if they lose this 45 tomorrow, it might be some trouble for them, right? What would that tell you? So if you split this value in half, right? If I just go here, actually, I can just click that again. There's a little middle line or something here now. So if the middle line is the half of the consolidation, the top and the bottom is here, right? And it's fairly distributed that way. If they can't hold the half of this distribution, what is it that market's telling you then on a larger picture, right? You're trying to get inside. Okay, you can't go in top half of this. You're looking for discount. Most likely you're gonna, if you lose this 45, you know, this 107, we know we have the 113, 114 level. It's gonna be pretty important, the single prints. But this is what they're targeting, most likely. And then what do you expect to see? If this is gonna be a true range and they're respecting this right here, well, then you're watching for this, right? You're watching for see if they're gonna grab people, go on a short side heavy, and then they reverse, right? Deliver the pain to the short side.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so now that this, I would say 2-day crap range is out, I just mentioned, right? We do not want to see them crack, right? We don't want to see them crack here below this, you know, because that would be the 2-day balance that we are in. And if the balance is accepted, if we come here, what do you expect to see? We're in a balance. We're marking up, meaning we're going higher. Right, this was the balance that we were in. We tried, then we went low. Now we popped, and if the price is to go higher, what is the level we can't break into?
Both.
What is it?
45.
That POC.
45.75, because this would mean that they're seeking acceptance higher, right? If that's the case, then you use your fibs from the large scale, you know, swing high, swing low, the really wide one, from here to here, and draw your fibs because you're gonna need it. It's gonna run. If they defend this area, it's gonna be a massive run. So I would just go from here, this swing high, to the bottom. Probably use a magnet here, and then have these targets handy for you. And these are longer term targets, right? I'm not saying this happens overnight, but this is a couple of months, right? This is December to about January. So about a month worth of price action probably or more here. Does that make sense? So 45 is to hold. If they lose that, they're in trouble, right? What about if the bulls open above today's, let's say if they open above the prior all-time high that was here. If they open above this and we can't hold it, what would that tell you? If they open above
Look
it,
above and fail, and they don't want the value up there. Don't like it up there.
maybe it's too overvalued. Then we have advantageous sellers coming in and selling here. Right? I wouldn't be shocked if they go here and then visit the 80 because that's how you accumulate. You deliver it to the greedy, right? If you don't want to take profits here, that's fine. We'll go to the bottom and then continue. So that's the idea, right? So we got to hold 45. If we open above 63, we want to hold that. Is there anything in the profile itself? Any information from profile today? I'm gonna hide the square for a moment. Oops, not that. Don't delete it. Did profile give you guys any clues today?
That was a long profile. Mm,
Okay, so how's SVP right next to it? How many distributions do we have on volume profile?
a few.
So we have 3, right? You have one here being separated, and then you have one here with the 2 zones in between. And in terms of value, what are you noticing between value shift?
Yeah, it shifted up.
So this one was an outside value, and then today, once you crack this, right, it just means an outside value break, and they shifted the value nicely, right? They shifted this and the POC kind of in the middle and volume profile at the top, which means there's a lot of volume here. It could be some, well, let me ask, what could that mean? You have volume profile POC here, and time POC is, about, let's call it 14 points apart. Why would that happen? And what does that mean in this instance that we are facing now?
People were more interested in trading at the top.
They're what?
More interested in trading at the top, even if it didn't spend a lot of time there.
Okay, so what would that indicate to you as a trader for tomorrow? I was interested in a lot of volume here, but we closed below that level.
I think that's like, I'm paying more attention to that than anything.
Okay.
Acceptance or rejection.
But why would that matter to you as a trader? Why do you care?
I feel like
Don't
since there's
feel
that
it.
many
It's
orders up
telling
there,
you.
that
You
Go
have a
ahead.
lot of volume here.
They didn't spend any
Lots of
time
volume.
there.
Hold on one second. They had lots of volume here, but they didn't spend a lot of time there. Not as much as we did here. So as a trader, what information do you have, and what is the caution that they're giving? They're giving you information here.
Happy sellers.
It's either profit takers or sellers that are not interested. They found the advantageous price and they're looking to offload, right? And the close was here. So we opened here, we closed higher, definitely. But tomorrow, if they can crack the 62, if we open below it and they regain this POC, right, and go above the fair price of today, that's a very bullish sign, guys. And most likely, we're hitting the 80 level, wherever that was, and then, don't discount 6,200 on ES. But that's, for now, it's a caution to you as a trader. A lot of volume here, but not a lot of time. But what would be interesting here is if we went above here and we had what on TPO? Let's look. Do we have anything here?
Access.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad access, right? It's not the strongest one, but there's a little bit of access here. So I would definitely mark that, right, as an unfair high, which means the price is too high here, right? And there's some inventory being offloaded here. But if this K, let's say, was up to here, yeah, that would be a totally different story then, along with that profile on volume. If it stayed the same, what would that tell you? If the volume stays the same and we had the K period, single periods here on K, was it? Yep. Let's say all the way to here. What would that tell you, Chance?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm this is like I would say my biggest weak outside of like mental issues, this is like my biggest weakness in trading, doing the extremes at all-time highs. The way would
That's why
see
I'm
it is, I
picking on
mean,
you.
pardon me?
That's why I'm picking on you.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that it's just too clean at the top, that excess.
No,
For
but I'm giving you a
or-
scenario. What if this K period was all the way here and the volume profile POC was here? Would you be more confident in something or less? And what is market telling you at that point? If
I'd
this
be
was all K period, single period.
I'd be I'd be more confident to the downside. There's more
Okay.
excess. A lot of
So
orders
that
at the
would-
top shows they were offloading, and then that excess confirmed it when they did go above it.
Okay, so that's
But
what I
there's
was looking for, right? I was
okay.
looking for that price came advantageous and people offloaded a lot of volume quickly. Right? And that's the difference, right? Did they offload here? Yeah, but could they have done,
They could have done way more, right?
yeah, if there was a lot of access, we should have seen a little bit more. But this is, you see the L period here, so let me split it so you guys can see it. And you see how this came, right? So K barely went above here. So if they had more buyers, that K would have gone, and then let's say K closed somewhere below, that would have been, pretty good. And then if you look at the L period, right, it really started framing down. That's when the things started going south. And then you have the M period that was inside bar, right, to the L. So tomorrow really becomes more about this. Can you absorb this and go? You come to 63, see if they can get some traction. They crack this, most likely go 6180 and 6200. But access is there, but it's not great. And then on the bottom, what are they telling you?
They had excess down there too, the same.
Yeah, they had same access on the bottom, right? At one point, it looked like it's gonna be like just a typical day, right? It just looked like they're gonna trade away here inside this, and it was pretty boring. And then all of a sudden, things started moving, right? So here, you see it. Let me see. So here's your A, B, and then the C period cracked, and then D went inside, then popped. They built value. They built a lot more value here than they did during the rest of the day. So they were exploring the value here compared to the beginning of the day, because this one was 7 points. They were really not exploring much here. Here they were pretty wide. They're opening double. And then here also, look at this. I mean, they're going 51, 52 to about 65. Again, double of that IB. So we definitely went, I guess, what, 3x today? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went 3x, maybe even more, probably 4 or 5x, which is pretty unusual in the market to see that much range. So tomorrow, it's pretty much easy, right? We want to see if we open above it, we need to hold that. If we open below it and claim acceptance above this level, do not short. Don't be a hero. I promise you're gonna regret it. And then let's say tomorrow they go above 63, they open above it and they can't hold, they immediately come below. What is market telling you then?
Or I said we're gonna go test that middle distribution.
Yeah,
We're
most
rejecting
likely,
higher, going lower.
Yeah, you have, this will be your PD value area high,
Keela got a hot mic.
and you will have the value area low somewhere around here. I'll turn the SVP for a moment. And I've got high TPO. Let's see, what is this? Yep, so it matches. And then you see the POCs like right here. So inside this, it might be nasty once they get in between 61 and 60, 65 and 61. There's just going to be a really crappy price action. I wouldn't initiate a lot of orders inside of this. So if we really lose this, open above it, lose it, high chance that you're going to go play this out, right? 45, the value area low, this range here, I would watch out for buying. If they lose this, let's say they decide to lose this 45, which was this day's high, as well as the level that we showed earlier, the half. If they're to lose this, what's next? I'm gonna turn it TPO for a second. Is there anything on this day that hasn't been, touched, cleaned up?
Single.
Fingerprints.
VPOC.
Yeah, you have a single prints. You have these right here. And these are most likely gonna act as a big support, right? And why would that be?
A separation of the distributions.
Well, let's take a look at it, right? If we lose this level, what does that mean overall? I mean, just look at it.
Oh, we're back into another balance.
Well, you're back in this pretty wide range, right? You have some support right here from the prior 2 days. So you're back into the range from 61.40 all the way down to 602. So you're back in that balance, right? And if they're not finding acceptance, they're most likely they're going to be interested in selling at lower to look for buyers. So this 13 is a really, really, really big level, right? If they lose that, then I would play this VPOC here. You would have that one. Let me see if you have one. I would put that one there, and that would be a pretty good level to target below that. But you can see that you have, the excess low, you have 45, 61, 30, and 13 would be next. And then you have, again, another VPOC, I would say, right here. And I prefer to use VPOCs on volume profile than on time, just my preference. Doesn't mean it has to be yours as well. This one here will be a decent level to watch. Okay, so these would be the key levels. You lose 41, go 30, then 1375. If you can't hold that, most likely you're going to explore this all the way to the prior 2-day balance that they had here, except this day that was not liar. So 6103 seems reasonable, 84, and then I would probably start closing some shorts here in this area if that was to happen. And the best part about, I would say, once you guys learn this market profile on ES, can I not apply the same logic to Tesla? Is there anything that I can't apply from TPO market or volume profile to Tesla? Anyone? I mean, I can apply this guy. Same concept goes in Tesla, does it not?
Yeah, every stock.
I mean, it just literally repeats, right? I mean, the market graphics of what this is telling you is just repeating process. And if you look at this, right, on Tesla, why I took the short, this was our prior all-time high. We created a new range today, right? I mean, not today, for the past couple of months, I'm sorry. We created a new range. There are sub-ranges inside, right? We tried to accept higher, lower, came back, retesting now, but this is the balance that they are trying to get out of. They're trying to get out of this right now, and now look what happened today. What do you guys see here? We are in 3-day balance. We opened, right? We opened on the bottom, and where did we close?
Under the point of control.
Under the point of control, but more importantly, back inside that 3-day range, right? They're back inside this 3-day range. So what is that telling you about? What is this telling you about this breakout? Pretty good.
Rejected the prices higher.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
a
it
simple
doesn't look,
price
looks
higher.
weak.
Looks like a weak breakout, right? So tomorrow, if they lose this 59, it's a very high odds you're going to be trading $10 lower by the end of the day, same day, right? And then if you look here more to the bottom left, Was there any signs of buyers anywhere? I want to see how you guys would have played here, and I'm zooming in specifically on 2 days here. Was there any
Not a
signs of
lot of
buyers here?
X's. Not a lot of X's.
Looks like a lot of buyers.
What happened on this day?
329. There was a single print there at the close, and
Oh.
then
No, not a single print.
A
That's
spike.
one.
That was
They
a
had a
spike.
spike.
a
End period.
spike. A spike. Yeah.
They had a spike lower, and then by the book, the way we would treat this is if you open here or here, you're what?
Bearish.
You'd be bearish, more inclined to go down. If you open above this line, what's most likely to happen?
Bullish bias.
You're bullish bias and you're looking to long, and look what they did, right? A period, massive access all the way to the POC, and look where they bounced. Is it any surprise that they bounced here, right? Anyone? Guys, shocked that they defended this? You open above it, you come back for a retest on a spike base. That's a support now, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a perfect move.
It's a perfect move long, and now you just follow. Then they struggled here, but they built an accumulation, and then, oh man, they gave you another signal we're going higher. What is this?
Or I.
Yeah, they gave you a poor high, right? They obviously failed here just by accident, right? Before the close, and then they had to sell off, right? Pretty orchestrated here, and then you went all the way. If you look at the single prints that we had here, the value area low, they went all the way to the value area low, only to, you know, gap again and then continue, right? Open within the prior day range, but they basically, from the close perspective, they gapped and then they cleaned up the poor high and then went inside. And now, if you look at the price action here, what is the market telling you here for past 2 days? Well, same story, right? They tried to dip inside this value and the market said what?
No.
Yep. And as long as they didn't lose this level, and you guys can disagree or agree with me, and I would say if you lose this range, as long as you hold this range, you're bullish. And why is that?
The higher double of the double distribution.
Yeah, this is simply value. This was value, this was a split, and this was value here on the bottom as well, all the way until here. Is that correct? 332. This was value. This was separated here by a little bit of skinny belly, not single prints, but it's, you know, 2 TPOs. So now they came back and, you know, early buyers showed up and they sent it. Then we tried to go higher, value area high, shifted, but we got something else on this day. What did we get?
It's crazy how much market profile information this has compared to ES. Like, there's so many.
ES has the
This
same.
is insane.
ES has the same, but you have to learn how to talk to it. You have to learn how to. It's. I don't think it's a skill set that comes in. Oh, I read a book and I can talk.
Yeah, you have to feel it.
You have to feel it. You have to make a story of every one of these and understand what the market's given you. So here, right, we went above the key level that we had. I think it was like 362, somewhere around here. Let's say it's there. We went above there. What happened? It's a period. So we know already that, you know, that's high chance if you leave an 8 period access that it should hold. And of course they held, and, you know, something funny happened. You can see the end of the day, what did they do? By M being next to A, what do you think they did?
Spike.
Not spike, but they, you know, they ran it back, right? They ran it back from the lows. So then period, they closed basically up here, right? They're open, but they pulled the price back. Means we went A, B, C all the way down here. D period served as access, and all the other periods were basically up periods here. And then look now, today they tried to encroach that, right? When you enter this area, what does that mean? If you're looking to buy here, let's say TJ Texas, or Raj Texas, sorry, Texas Raj. If you're looking to buy here, what should you be cautious of right here?
The sellers that initiated that.
The sellers initiated that, right? And are these initiative sellers?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know where it's at overall, but
Well, let's
looks like they're
zoom out
breaking
again.
out of a range.
So let's see if these are initiative sellers.
No, they're passive sellers with orders, just waiting.
I think they're
And that's correct.
initiative.
No, they're passive.
They're
Remember,
passive?
when you're waiting,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
passive.
yeah. We're not at a range at the high.
Yeah. So when you're waiting, you're passive, right? And they're
Thought we were
waiting,
way up
right?
there.
So I think it was somewhere around here. Don't quote me, but look at this level. Let's say this is the level right here. Somewhere around here. So this is the level above here that we are looking for sellers to show up. Well, look where they showed up. They were pretty good there, right? And now if you look again, we went above that, right? We tried to build value inside of that. We went above and we met some more sellers at that level. So now if you lose this 356, there's a high chance that, you're going somewhere around here, 347. Does that make sense? The sellers are here, but now you have to see if they open above this, most likely we're going to run. I would say probably going to run somewhere around here. 375-ish would be the next level that they go to. If they can crack this, so 10 points. 10 points down, 10 points up. But it's applicable to every stock you guys are looking at. I mean, this is not, people see this and it's being traded on just futures or elsewhere. Guys, this is applicable to everything that you do. It's time, price, and volume. And those components, I mean, do these stocks not trade those three components? Or the three components don't make up that market auction for this SPY? Or SPY is excluded from volume and price and time? Well, hopefully you guys are saying that it's not excluded because you
Yeah,
definitely
no.
I believe every commodity can be kind of put into this sort of format.
Exactly. I mean, it's you need
It's
price. Price is used as a discovery tool, right? So without price, you can't do anything. Can you move if there's ask for SPY, let's say is at 720 and it's at 612, how much action are this guy going to get tomorrow? If somebody has an order sitting at 720 tomorrow, is he going to get a lot of action here? Right here.
No.
So why not?
It's gonna take time.
Is there volume there? People willing to bid 720 from 624? I mean, I could see it happening, but I don't think that's going to happen. That means the volume is not currently there, right? There's no bids that match the ask. Therefore, volume is important. And then time is just used to tell us really, really quickly whether they're accepting the area or rejecting the area, right? If you spend a lot of time in the area, and most likely you're spending volume there, that means you're accepting the prices at that level. That means people, buyers and sellers are happy exchanging at that price. As soon as you have a imbalance to the upside, right? So, SPY did not break this balance. It seems like ES, I guess, did, and SPY did not. So I'm sorry, it did break it. It did break it. I'd probably go off of this one anyways. So they are above it. So if they lose this other level, then, it's a whole different story. But all those price, time, and volume, they're components that make up the market auction. If you lot, from opportunity standpoint, look, kind of what they did here. Here, let's just play, with this. Who showed up here? If this was the range that's set, and you went to the bottom of the range, and then you peaked below, who showed up here?
Other time frame
Lots of
buyers.
buyers.
Yeah, it's other time frame buyers that stepped in. So now, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So now, let's say we try to go above and we failed, right? We probably bounced somewhere, I would say 50% of this AB here. Let's go. Right, almost a 50% we bounced, right? So what is that telling you about the aggression and the discount? If they're defending that, you might not want to short it too much. And then you have the bull flag, right? It looks like a bull flag, and then they have a nice candle. But the only thing that people forget is the volume, right? Volume is applicable in all of these. So now if you take a look at this, look at the volume here for past couple of days. Let me send this to the bottom so you guys can see it. I'm just gonna, here, this is, I'm targeting this day here. I'm just gonna zoom out here. How many days are below these days that we had here? Like 3 days in a row. How many volume candles do you guys can just roughly see that are below this?
None.
If you see one, just raise your hand. Tell me where. Guys, this is Q1 of the year, right? Shouldn't there be, if you're breaking all-time highs, what do you expect to see?
A lot of buyers.
Well,
More volume.
okay. So let's take a look at the volume. Boom, here. I guess let me move this up.
Could it also be that they're not ready to sell yet?
Could be, yeah. If there's no inventory there, right? I mean, that's what we talked about. If these people lifted, let's say the orders are sitting at 620, they see the demand is buying here, retail's buying, well, think about yourself. You're selling oranges at the market and you see a line of people, right? And you're like, okay, well, I'll keep the prices the same today. What should you do tomorrow?
Raise the price.
Keep them
Well,
the same.
Well, you're nice to the guests, you treat them with respect and, polite, and tomorrow you lift it by 10 cents. And you're still nice to people. You're still selling to people. Until those people don't show up, and then you're gonna be like, what?
Dump it.
Discounts.
Hey guys, I have a sale on oranges. You're going back to the price where you bought it before. Right? So that's the same concept here. If people lift it, right, and they see the retail's buying, and how do you know retail's buying?
The range and the volume.
Well, if the institutional traders were buying, you think the volume would be almost a 3-year low?
No.
No, no, it would not be, guys. There would be a lot more. So now you're watching to see if they fail this level tomorrow. If they fail this level, let's say tomorrow, where would you guys think the buyers will show up? One, I would say first, it would be the half of that discount zone, 595, and then the last one would be, I would say somewhere around here, 580s. Is that fair? And then,
Yeah.
can I not do this and figure out what my levels will be? So I know for sure now, let's say if you lose the 608, I can play it, with a little bit more certainty now that you're at least gonna give me this, 590, $18. So if I'm trading this, how would you play this? If I'm taking this, if I take this, who's not willing to take this trade? I'm looking for somebody who's not willing to take it.
Looks good.
Yeah. And you can take profit in between. You can take profit between 598, 595. If you see weakness here, you can take this. If they crack this aggressively, then you just move your, next one all the way down here and enjoy the profits, right? And then it can become here. And if you see that this is strong, then you can lower your, your risk becomes something like this, and you just keep trailing if you see a lot of buyers showing up at this fair price. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's really applicable to everything, guys. A lot of people are, I would say, just stuck. And, a lot of people started trading futures not too long ago, and they're just stuck with, I can only do this in futures. Markets, for instance, telling you something here on the yearly profile for SPY. If you understand volume, you should know what to do here. Hopefully everybody in the room does.
This is how you're like
Yeah,
determining
but
your
the,
longer dated puts.
Exactly. Yeah. My longer dated puts are based off of this. And this is just the month that we are developing, right? I'm sorry, the year that we are developing. If you look down, we are far,
Whoa.
far from value, like super far from value. So now if you think about this, right, if this was the range that we were trading in, and let's say you lose that level, oof, man. Does anyone see what could happen? Could we not? Is this not a probable scenario if we were to lose this? Let's say POC 605. Is this not highly probable? Probably, I would say this happens, right? All these guys would try to buy. Eventually, they would have a little spike and they would send it here. But they would basically kill all these guys that were buying here for the second time, right? This is the first time. They would try to probably make equal lows or maybe higher lows, and maybe they would kill them and grab all this liquidity here that was long. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Let me just see where we are at open to see what are the probabilities. So we are here. Okay. That was a good long at 45. That's a pretty good long. Hopefully you guys were, I don't know when that happened, but that was a pretty good long. That just happened minutes ago. Nobody take this. You had 2 chances to take it.
No, I'm banned from ETH trading, so.
That's a good ban. Bye guys. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully they give us a little bit more range. It was a decent day for me. I took a couple of trades I was confident on, and then I took a couple of confident that didn't work out as well. It was a weird day to trade, so if you felt lost, I don't think you're alone. I was confused on some of the moves that they did, right? When the FMOC notes were released and all this, it was just those binary events, you can really just flip a coin and let it run. But I did tell you guys that there was a December value area high here. I was targeting for sweep here, and that's when I entered short today as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was targeting this here. I wanted them to go above it. They built value when they failed inside, and they came here. I mean, this was a pretty good short towards the end of the day. And then I was short overnight here as well. I closed it. But we'll see what they do. This is a really good buy here.
Today was my first loss in like 8 trades in a row.
Oh, that's okay.
Small one,
I
but you know.
Shamu, I wouldn't focus on those. Just
What do you
treat it
mean?
like loss is as good as a win. You
Yeah.
shouldn't treat them any differently.
Well, I was honestly worried because I normally it's been a long time. I feel like since I've had so many positive trades in a row, and I thought something was wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong. You have to accept that nothing is wrong. It's just that we cannot. If somebody comes to you and says they don't have bad trades and bad days, oh, run. I've had days I've traded with you guys live and I've lost in some cases like 15 grand and I stepped away. But 15 grand might mean, life saving for somebody, might not mean a lot for others. Was it a lot for me? Yes, that was a lot, right? And I stepped away after it happened. And it took me about 4 days to gain my mental stability from it. And that's when I oversized, right? I was not following my own rules on it. And I put too much where I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So
Rare.
I treated,
That's rare for you.
well, it was me being greedy, right? You have a really, really good day, being up almost same amount, and then you swing through that to negative. So
Yeah, I've had that happen. Yeah.
So market's pretty brutal, and if people tell you this shit's easy, it's not. Honestly, I am exhausted by the end of the day. like my brain, like basically is burning by the end of the day. I'm looking at stuff. I'm looking at the levels. I'm looking at the information, and then the crazy part is us humans like to look at the data and make it fit into our narrative that we have for that day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the hardest skill you guys will have to learn not to do that. And that's by being in present and asking what is happening now. What are they doing? Without position, what are they doing? And a lot of people get in that position and then they're like, hey, what are they doing? Oh, I see this is bearish because they're short. There's nothing bearish on a short. And then they're like, I'll add more. I know this is going to work. Market's going to be with me on this side. And they add short, short, short. And then their market's like, okay, thank you. I'm going up. So those are the things that we as humans, excuse me, I would say we struggle the most is our own bias and that, you know, the human ego. And, you know, we are really greedy people naturally now. We always want more and we never have enough.
I've just been trying to stick to like a max point loss and a max point gain. Even if I wanted to like keep going my way, or even if I want to like size down or size into something, like I don't do it. I just go like, there's a max point of loss that I have, and then if that hits, I'm done. And then there's a max point gain where if it hits, I have the limit order there. It sells out of the trade, and I can't take any more for the day.
Samo, I think that's probably the best advice you could have given all these people on The Voice. As you guys are so focused on making more, sometimes just taking enough and coming back another day is more important for you guys that are learning and practicing this. A lot of you guys want instant gratification and drive Lambos and all this shit. Don't fall in the circle of that. That's just the only financial advice to you. Don't spend more than you should. Life's too short for that shit. Nobody's gonna care if you drove a Lambo as you're dying. So
Definitely
all right.
true.
Thanks, Shorty.
Tomorrow,
All right, guys.
tomorrow we have a bunch of Fed speakers, unemployment claims. Yeah,
When is
a
their
bunch.
blackout? Let me just see. When is Fed blackout? That's what we need to know. Let me see. When is there? Did you guys know about the FMOC blackout periods?
Negative.
Let's see. There it goes. These are meetings. Where are we? February?
Yeah.
Yes.
So a month away. That's a long blackout period.
Oh, no, it should be longer. They should have a fucking whole February blacked out. All right. Well, they can talk a lot this month, just so you know. They have the free on fucking talk, so hopefully they don't. But it looks like tomorrow's schedule. So starting the 8th, things are gonna go back to being tight. And then, is there anything happening in March? That should be like around the 21st, I believe.
I have no idea.
When is OPEX? Do you guys know? When is OPEX?
So the third
Keep going.
Friday of every month.
Yeah, third Friday very much. So March 21st will be the quarterly OPEX.
Oh, the quarterly ones are the ones that are really important.
Yeah, those are the rebalancing ones most of the times. Right, this is where they're looking to close some trades, look to possibly shift to new sectors. So this month's going to be heavy. March is going to be really, really big. So if we decide to run tomorrow, I wouldn't be shocked if we start running till, I would say, the 10th or the 12th of March would be really the stop of the grind. So, well, let's see. Tomorrow's a big day.
Thank you, Shorty.
All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow. I'll be
Thanks,
live.
Shorty.
I'll be on.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Shorty.
Thanks, Shorty.
Good night.
Thanks, Drew.